Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I am Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight I'm joined by these fellow nerds, and we're going to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. This is episode 12 of our Untraditionally Arcane game. It's a game of all untraditional wizards. None of them are one of the 8 schools of wizardry. So we're going to have lots of fun, continue on with this story to try and find and fix the 8 vessels of arcane power. Before we get too deep into this, I will throw out there that this game is sponsored by Easy Roller Dice. Whether it's your first set of dice or your 100th set of dice, Easy Roller Dice for all your dice rolling needs. Not only is there going to be a link and a coupon code in the description, but there is a link to their Kickstarter for the Crackstone Dice Collection. You can get these awesome stone dice, including the giant 40mm monstrosities in a variety of colors. And all of them are a la carte. So you just pick what you want, whether you want to buy a set, individual 20s of the regular size or the giant size. Just do as you will and go help them unlock some stretch goals because their stuff is awesome. And they've been with us here at Nerdarchy for a long time. So give them some love and support. So I'm going to throw it off to our players to allow you to meet them if this is your first time with us. As always, there's going to be links down in the description to where you can find these wonderful people on the interwebs. So I will throw it over to our lovely producer, Jake.
I like when he calls me lovely.
Of course.
Hey, internets! It's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and that's where you can find me when I'm not here. Over on Mini Terrain Domain on Twitch, on Monday nights, we run a Scribes and Scrolls Candlekeep Mysteries campaign. And on Thursday nights, with our own Nerdarchist Ted here, we run our Dawnbringers campaign, which is in Season 6. And if it's okay with you, Ted, can I plug my new product real quick?
Absolutely.
I just released my first product on DM's Guild, a Calendar of Harptoast Adventure Journal, which is a nearly 400-page form-fillable journal with lunar cycles, calendar. It's got all the holidays in it, some player character logs. You can pick it up on DM's Guild for $5. So it would be awesome if you check that out. And I will be playing Ordo Wonderbeard, a Beeromancer.
All right, and just as always, just kind of toss it along to
And I'm gonna toss it to Carlos.
Hello, my name is Carlos. I will be playing Flox Finefeather, a Order of the Peacock wizard, one of Nerdarchy's lovely subclasses. Yeah, I'm happy to be involved with these great folks, and I am going to pass it off to Asa.
Well, hi, I am Asa with Roll for Mischief, and we stream on Twitch, like Ted said. Things in the thing below. And I am playing Joshua, a Tiefling onomancer, and he's pretty much a scared Winnie the Pooh.
Now, I feel like there should be some caveat there of saying you play Joshua.
Oh, absolutely. As a naming wizard, whether or not Joshua is his real name, cannot confirm nor deny.
I would throw money on Joshua is not his real name.
I would. Yep, that's a thing you could do.
Wouldn't that be a heck of an onomancer move, though?
To use your real name. Just a fool see it coming. Yep. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I write weird fiction. There are links. Go read weird fiction. I promise you it's worth it. I will be playing Chessaline, the Drow Bladesinger, who picked up some necromancy a few sessions ago. Let me see. Frags, I don't believe you've gone yet.
No, I'm just sleeping over here. I'm Fraginator. Can't find me anywhere but here. Playing Avtok Treebender, Order of the Scribes Wizard, and I have divination stuffs for now.
So, brief recap. All of these lovely non-traditional wizards were pulled in some a little bit later than others, or one a little bit later than others, as traditional magic wizardly magic that is, has gone awry, and something has happened or believed to be happened with the 8 vessels of arcane power. These more locations / artifacts and the wizards that form the Gul Talath, the Council of 8, if you will, called in experts, apprentices, what have you, to go and investigate. So far, they have already traversed to 2 locations. They found the summoning stone, not the summoning stone, the seeing stone, and traveled to the Gravane graveyard, to the black rock skull, and fixed the barriers that had been erected there, corrected the cracks that were within the device or within the stone, and restored 2 of the 8 schools of magic. But in so doing, they have found that there was some angelic creature that was trying to thwart their efforts. So they had a conversation with the conjuration master and thought that if perhaps they could fix the summoning sigil and allow the conjuration master to possibly call down some kind of celestial, they might be able to ascertain some new information. So yet again, teleporting away from the tower, they went out into the chaos wastes, where rampant chaos magic runs and causes all kinds of weird mishaps, whether it be a sensory alteration effect like what is currently going through these players now, or other strange happenings like what might happen next is what they have to deal with in such a strange place. But the summoning sigil is a everlasting portal that has the ability to literally open to anywhere, call anything forth, and they were warned that many dangers could possibly come out of it, and just be careful. But it is not always calling forth something, otherwise the chaos waste would run rampant with beings from other planes. So as it is chaos, no one truly knows how it operates and when something comes out of it. So last session, we left off with them cresting down the mountain into the valley between these mountain ranges, where in the center is supposed to be the summoning sigil. And that is where we're going to pick up. So, how is this adventuring party continuing forth? What is your marching order? Avtok is in front?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be
Sorry,
somewhere in the
I
middle.
thought you were just stating it, not asking.
No, you raised your hand, so I asked
Oh, I was
questions.
volunteering.
Ah,
My spectral guardian, whatever, would insist.
I will be right behind him, considering I'm pretty sure I still have the highest AC.
I will be
Probably.
behind
Mine's
Cecily is
15.
the only armored one of you, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, my beard is armored.
Oh, you have beard girding, that is true.
The important parts.
Yes. The Fine Feather would like to take up the Wonderbeard's rear.
So Carlos, you're being rear guard.
Yep.
So what is Chesaline and Avtok's passive perception, please?
Ooh, that's not good. 11.
Um,
But I have advantage if I can smell it.
Okay.
And since I'm smelling colors and sounds right now. I know it's a stretch.
So what do you have, Chess?
10.
10. All right. So you guys are perfectly stationed at the front of this party, so that if something should try to reach out and sneak upon you, you're set.
On the bright side, I probably won't sneak up from behind us.
Okay.
It'll sneak up from in front.
Exactly. Or the sides, or above. But
Or it'll have been here the whole time. Who knows? It's the chaos wastes.
So you're rather shocked when the ground begins to shake. All of you feel as if literally the ground and valley that you're walking on is beginning to fall apart. You see ahead of you to the sides that the ground is fracturing at a drastic rate. Pieces are falling to unknown depths below. Other pieces seem to rise and shift and slide one direction or another. I need all of you to go ahead and roll initiative and let me know what you're planning to do to try and get through this nightmare of a landscape.
My initiative is 18.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Frank, did you roll a d20?
Yep, that's what I did.
Oh.
So we've got 18, 17, 16, 0, and I'm missing. There we go. All right. So who was it that said 18? Was that Asa?
That was me.
All right.
Sorry, the only one who didn't put it in chat.
Sure.
Slacker.
So Joshua, what are you doing?
So something is. The ground is shaking.
The ground is literally breaking at your feet, and you can see sections that all seem to be like drifting apart.
I'm gonna panic mend to the ground. Just like, oh, this is not good. Try to hold it together now.
So Joshua, you're pretty intelligent, and you know that mending fixes small things.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about cracks that are literally ripping the ground apart at like 5 and 10 feet sections.
And it's a 1 minute cast time.
That's why it's a panic.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
All right. 13.
13. All right. You fall. You are currently prone and are clinging to what you are unable to mend. Let me jump to here.
That was a bad idea. You all shouldn't do that.
All right, Phlox and Ordo, which of you have the higher dexterity?
13.
I have a +0.
All right, so Phlox, you're up next. What are you doing?
Alrighty. Could I quite literally dance my way through and I quote cha-cha real smooth out the way with a performance?
You can do performance with dexterity as opposed to charisma.
Okay.
As you were trying to dance from one, tilting island segment to another.
I have a feeling I will also be prone because I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. All right, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty. Okay. 15.
All right, so you are still standing, but you are on unsteady ground. You can see that the island that you're on is kind of just cracked in half. If you don't move off of this next time, you are going to fall, and you do not see anything below. It is just blackness.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Ordo.
How big are these cracks that are happening?
At present, they are expanding, but they're about 1 to 2 feet apart.
Oh dear. This is going to be quite difficult for somebody of my small stature. I shall have to do something about that. Ordo Wonderbeard! And as I say that, my voice sort of echoes, and I double in size
Oh, grow gadget beard.
as I cast enlarge on myself.
Okay. Are you attempting to move?
Yes, I'm hoping my larger size is going to make it easier for me to navigate over these.
It will absolutely reduce the DC. You can make athletics or acrobatics. As you
I'm
see
sure
fit.
I have both of those. Athlet. Yeah, I have the same +0 in both of those. So this will be
Excellent.
fun. All right. Athletics check. That is a natural 20.
Nice. So you managed to just, as opposed to jumping, your increased size, you just kind of like you just casually step from one section to another. Just getting further. You can see that right now all of this is expanding. Like the area that is damaged by whatever has caused this is getting larger and getting larger. So you managed to get a good decent distance from away from where you started, but you still don't see the end of this yet. Chesseline.
I activate my blade song.
Okay.
That gives me advantage on dexterity acrobatics checks.
Okay. You're going to attempt to follow in Ordo's wake?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
And with advantage, that's going to be an 18.
All right. So you have no problems. You're getting a little bit of a dance in your own way, then make easy progress behind the very large dwarf.
I like to think that even though I've doubled my size, I'm still smaller than Avtok.
Well, Avtok is mighty. So, but speaking of which, Avtok, what are you doing?
All right. So it looks like Ordo and Chesseline are doing just fine.
Yep.
Joshua was doing well also.
No,
he's
Joshua.
fallen.
Joshua is on his belly, clinging to one of these, floating rocks.
Okay.
And
And-
Phlox,
I'm okay. Don't worry about me.
Phlox is straddling a cracking rock, and if he doesn't move quickly, he is absolutely going to fall into the
Okay.
below.
So Phlox looks in the worst state.
Correct.
Okay. So Avtok will yell, Phlox, go with it. And I am assuming I'm within 90 feet of him.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to use a 3rd level spell slot to cast Vortex Warp on him and shoot him 120 feet in the direction we're going.
All right. Make a caster level check for me, please.
I don't want to roll dice.
I know you don't. There's a 2 on the die.
Yep.
So you call forth your magics and reach out. Go ahead.
I have inspiration, right?
We always start off with inspiration in this game. You can turn in
Crap,
your
where'd the die go?
and roll again.
Yeah, figures it hits the ground and it's good.
4. You double the die.
Every time so far. Next time I'll get an 8.
Oh, God.
We're
Have
working
you-
our way in the right direction.
So
Have you rolled your divination thingies? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Can
I used
give
the
him
nat
one of my
20.
inspirations?
I used the nat 20 to kill somebody that wasn't supposed to be killed or something.
Oh, okay. That's at the end of each rest, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
per day, not per session.
And I used the
Gotcha.
other one for something dumb, I think.
You threw it at me for some reason.
Yeah.
What was that, Carlos?
Could I give Avtok one of my inspirations?
So if you wish to use your inspiration, Avtok and roll a 3rd time.
It is saving him. Do you want me to?
Please.
14.
14
On the die. Which
so
gives
what-
me an
what is your
18.
intelligence one? All right. So you concentrate and you see this. Well, you don't see, but you feel that there is a pressure as you're trying to call forth your magic, and
I smell the pressure.
you honestly have to like push through and work harder than you've done in a long time to actually access your magic. You can recall when you first began casting and how hard it was to actually wrench the magic to do as you wanted, even to cast like your first simple cantrip. It was effort. It was a struggle to just completely bend it to your will. And it's as if you hadn't cast before, and you know the gestures you're supposed to be making. You know the recitation that's a part of this particular casting. And as you're going through it, the words almost jumble in your mouth. The energy that's in you that you've been using for quite some time now, you have to like pull it with all of your magical might, but you force it to do as you wish. And you reach out and you grab a hold of Phlox and you catapult him 120 feet away.
Hi, Phlox.
So what does your portal look like when you do this?
Oh, I didn't even think of that crap. It looks like it swirls in a vortex because it's vortex warp, but the inside of the vortex looks like the weird little squigglies of a brain, and they pulsate.
So it happens incredibly quickly, but Phlox, you feel this magic take you, and almost like the Flash or any other speedster, you walk through this corridor of incredibly pink and gray, squishy material that, in an essence, reminds you of what little you might know about what a brain looks like. And then like you exit out the other side, and ground here is still just as dangerous and unstable as what you left, but you are 120 feet further down the path of where you guys were headed.
All right, and then I'm sure it's not going to end well, but I guess I will start heading in that direction as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wish to acrobatics, athletics, something else?
I'm definitely not using acrobatics.
Okay.
We will go with athletics, and it's a 13.
13. All right. So you move a little bit before the ground is a little bit unstable underneath your feet. You can attempt to keep going, but you might fall, or you can stop at this moment and wait for the next thing to get closer.
What do you call that, Robin? A bonobo?
Bonobo.
All right. No, I'm going.
All right. So go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
31. Oh, sorry, dexterity. Other direction. That's
18.
No, 17.
17.
Because I have a -1.
Oh, okay.
Not a +2 like athletics.
All right. So you manage to, push on ahead, and you get yet another floating rock closer than you were before, but all is good for the moment.
I feel like he's probably breathing heavy and panicking.
So you all feel the air as if there's like a static charge waiting. You don't see, as you look down the sandy, rocky, gray and tan ground that you're able to see, and then it's blackness. There's absolutely nothing below. The light from above does not in any way, shape, or form penetrate. And as rocks seem to disappear, or the rocks that you were standing on fall apart, the second that they're like a couple inches below the level that you're at, there's nothing. Joshua, what are you doing?
So it's pretty much me and Avtalk at the tail end of this, right? And Avtalk seems like he's doing okay.
Yes.
Okay. I will get to my feet do I need to roll? Like, am I half off this section of land?
No, you can just stand up.
I'm going to stand up, and then I'm going to cast haste on myself and start running after Ordo and Cheslin.
Okay. You can do acrobatics, athletics, if something else makes sense to you.
Let's see. Haste gives me advantage. Oh, it's dexterity saving throws. Okay. I will do athletics because I have a +1 in that.
Okay.
So that's 3. Yeah.
Uh,
Strength
total
for the
of
win.
All right.
High five, Asa.
So you charge off, and immediately the stone underneath your feet begins to crumble. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Which I have advantage on. All
which
right.
you now have advantage on.
That is they're both 12s. So that's well, it's 12.
So, Avtok, which
Yes.
direction are you looking? Are you looking towards where you sent flocks and those ahead, or are you currently looking backwards?
I would imagine I'm looking down, trying not to panic like an idiot. Unless I have to choose one of those, and then I'm looking forward.
Okay. All right. So you are looking forward. So I'm gonna roll a D3 here. All right. Ordo, you aren't quite in the lead after Avtok catapulted flocks forward. And for just a moment, you decide to look back to check on your companions. And you watch as Avtok completely disappears into the darkness.
Ruh-roh.
And we'll come back and see what's going on with Joshua in a moment. Phlox, you are at the leader of the pack at the moment. The ground is a little bit more stable here. You can see as you look back a little bit that you've got about 60-foot lead on the ginormous dwarf Ordo, as well as a little bit more than that on Chesaline. And Avtok is trailing behind. But you do not see Joshua. What do you do?
I mean, knowing the mission at stake, I would continue forward using a 3rd level spell slot Thunderstep to teleport myself 90 feet to the next unoccupied space. If it makes a difference, anything in 300 feet can hear me. Literally, as I just try to go forward.
All right, I need you to go ahead and make a caster check. Go ahead and roll D20 plus your intelligence modifier.
All right.
Please roll better than I do.
Yes, sir. Uh, 9.
So, as I kind of begun describing when Avtok was casting a spell, you feel that the magic of, or the effort to use the magic is harder than you've ever had to do. And as you push forward, you don't have what it takes. The effort is like the magic is gone. Like you expend the casting, but and even the action to cast it, but there is no further essence of magic that's there. It just fizzles.
You
So
got counterspelled by the chaos wastes.
I imagine Flock just kind of like performance anxiety.
But you still do have your movement and your bonus action if there's anything you wish to do.
If magic won't get me there, I'll do it myself. And I try to the
right.
next.
So athletics, acrobatics, or if there's something else that you feel makes sense.
Acrobatics makes sense to me since he's a
Sure.
artsy person. Thank God. 23.
Okay. Urdo, you watch as Phlox struggles to do something. it very much looks like he was attempting to do magic. I'm not certain if you are familiar with the spell that he was going to cast, but whatever he attempted completely failed. And then he, charged ahead and made a little bit of progress. What are you doing?
I look over, seeing that, but then looking back again at where I lost sight of Avtok.
Not Avtok, Joshua.
Or Joshua was the one that disappeared?
Yes. Joshua sunk into the blackness.
Seeing that happen in my now large form, I just look over at Chess. Chess!
Go on.
Joshua! He's gone! And I point
I don't know how to
where
find him, and we have to do this.
I just
Don't
point
worry
to
about
where he
me. I'm
was.
making a new character.
And I am going to...
What's his name?
I'm going to try to move... extra movement. But I'm going to move as far as I can, which my movement's...
So you're going to just continue forward or going backwards?
I mean, there's no point in going back.
Yeah, just making sure.
Yep.
So athletics, acrobatics, or if there's something else that makes sense.
I'm going to do athletics again because I realized with enlarge on, I have advantage on strength-based checks.
That's awesome.
So I will do that. Rolling with advantage. I kid you not, different die, but that is another natural 20.
Awesome.
I got an 18 on the other one, but yeah, that's all I'm rolling tonight is nat 20s. I'm calling it.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Hey, and I would like to point out that was an easy roller die.
There you go. So as you push forward, you're catching up to Phlox that's in the lead. You are making all the right choices in the ground, underneath your feet. Not only is supporting, the large size, but it's not crumbling as you step on it.
I just imagine as I'm moving across these, my beard is sort of just whipping out and about, and sort of as I step across these gaps, my beard tendrils reach out and sort of grab hold and pull me forward. And as I'm bracing myself, you just see almost like guy lines, just pieces of beard just going.
That's awesome.
Like Spider-Maning your way along with your beard.
Almost, yeah. Probably closer to Doc Ock.
I was actually thinking
That's
about
what I
that.
was picturing.
Nice.
Well, and it
halfway
actually works with my Beardre Domain ability. It's sort of a passive form of the Beardre Domain, which hasn't happened yet. Oh wait, but yeah, that's all I'm doing is moving forward and keeping an eye out.
All right, Chesseline.
I don't know how to help Joshua. Like, I don't have an immediate idea of what to do, and what we are doing here is important. So I'm going to keep moving forward too, because I would expect the rest of you to do the same if it were me.
Awesome. So are you casting a spell, or are you just moving?
No, I'm just going to continue using acrobatics.
All right, roll it up.
Dirty 20.
30-20. So you two are making excellent headway. You are basically licking the heels of the giant dwarf, who's right on the heels of Phlox. Avtok, what are you doing?
Avtok doesn't know if his luck trying to get across this is going to hold. So he just wants to think really hard and see if he can make it move and stay together. Does Arcana work to move the pillar or whatever I'm on?
Rolling d20.
Uh-oh. Why you do this to me, Ted? 12?
So
If it's with Arcana, though, it's a 19.
you think really hard about, trying to control. I don't know how Avtok is approaching it, whether you're trying to control the magic of this place,
Yes.
or whether you're trying to, whatever have you,
I'm trying to harness the chaos.
but all you succeed in doing is hurting your head.
Perfect. That is par for the course. Is that my action?
That would be your action. Yes. Do you wish to
All
move
right.
at all, or are you?
I will half-heartedly move.
Half-heartedly move. All right. So then, let's see what happens with that die roll. How are you approaching the situation? Acrobatics, athletics, something else?
Athletics, because thinking didn't work.
Sure.
Next time, I'm going to try and persuade my way across. I got a 7.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw, sir.
Do I even have to roll? 0.
So, roll a d3 here. Who looks back? Phlox, you happen to hear something on the wind, and you look back. You watch as the enormous Loxodon, who used his magic to grab you from the rear, to catapult you forward, and essentially try to get you as close to the goal as possible. And you watch as he strains real hard to do something. You don't know if he's thinking, if he's trying to evacuate his bowels. You don't know. And then he decides to take a step forward to try to get to the next thing and misses it by a good solid foot. Just as the little floating rocks that you guys have been kind of jumping forward moves just enough to be out of his way. And he too disappears into the darkness.
I picture all you see is trunk.
Oh Lord.
And then there were 3.
If I was close enough.
But I didn't go first.
That is true. That is entirely true. All right.
Oh my.
Thanks, Asa.
As we
That's
go
your
into
new character coming, Frag.
as we go into the third round, you can see, feel, hear the storm up ahead. Not up ahead, but up above. As vibrant colored lightning kind of begins to crackle, and nothing's striking the ground as of yet, but you can hear it brewing. Phlox, what are you doing?
Lord. So I guess what I'm going to be doing is making another acrobatics check to try to like clamber my way on to the next.
Sure.
Okay, 14.
All right. You managed to make a little bit of progress. It's not as you don't get as far as you like, but you don't fall.
Hey, well, I mean, not falling is cool.
Ordo.
Got to keep moving forward.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So remember a few moments ago when I said the only thing I was going to do was roll natural 20s?
Mm-hmm.
Both of my dice combined do not equally.
Oh.
They equal an 8.
All right.
Or rather, that's the high die.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
And as if I summoned it into being, I'm going to use Bearded Domain.
Okay.
When you make a dexterity saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain a +2 bonus on your roll. And it says, and if I fall, well, this will be to fall, correct?
Yes.
Because it says I can use my spellcasting ability instead of my dexterity modifier.
Oh, nice.
Which is a +7 instead of a +0. Which is actually a +9 because of the Bearded Domain. So, okay, this is a straight roll. Don't fail me now. All right, that's a 10 on the die, but with that +9, that makes it a 19, and this is absolutely mostly beard that's assisting me in this.
So as you go to move forward, the ground kind of breaks at your feet. You push off at just the last moment, and the thing that you're aiming for is it too begins to move forward, and you realize you're just gonna miss it. You watch as your beard kind of snakes out. We've all seen the beard whip before, but it's usually as he's doing it. But here, it almost does it on its own, and it lashes out in like multiple angles and just heaves your gigantic dwarven body those extra couple inches and pulls you onto secure footing yet again.
Just a whole bunch of like the Sentinels in the Matrix, but beard.
Yep. Chessaline, what are you doing?
Continuing onward as before.
All right. What are you doing, and what's their role?
I mean, same acrobatics because I've still got advantage for that, and
sure. Go up.
I got a 17.
17. All right. So you continue to push forward. You're almost taking the lead at this moment. And as you pass Phlox and Ordo, you look back. And as you do, you see no storm clouds overhead. You see solid ground. You look ahead of you and you see solid ground. You do a double take and look back. And Avtok and Joshua are clinging to just the barren rock. Completely solid.
I'm not surprised.
Hey, are you two all right?
Frankly, I'm surprised we're not clinging to each other.
Well, you're a good 45 feet away from each other.
Can I cast a 45-foot cling spell?
So, doesn't take much for you guys to be able to regroup and kind of console each other, other than the effort of physical activity and the expenditure of magic. Some of you are sweating from some worry and the physical effort that was necessary, but none of you are worse for wear. And
Avtok is starting to compile a list of places he never wants to go again. This is number 2.
If I didn't have a heart condition before, then I'm certainly gaining one now as I begin to shrink down to my normal dwarven size.
I should have never drank that much wine.
Pop to my feet and kind of like rush over to the group and say, well, I'm feeling a lot better now. I think that I was just on the ground. Perhaps we should keep on moving.
Can you believe this isn't the plane of illusion?
I don't think any of that was an illusion. I'm pretty sure a lot of that was real. Just possibly we should keep moving.
All right, let's go.
As we walk, I'm kind of like walking circles around the group.
sure.
My haste spell is still on.
Oh, that's right.
I was imagining him like kind of like road runnering around us. Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
He's our Hermes.
In order to understand that reference, you have to come over to MTD Jake's channel and watch the Dawnbringers.
Ooh, nice plug.
I try.
Oh, Fry called it. I'm just letting them know where they need to go to be able to understand. So, as you're traversing Ordo, you get a waft, and you're not certain whether your sense of smell is returning to what it's supposed to, or if there's something else going on. But has Ordo ever spent any time in a farm?
Have you seen me? Do I look like I've spent any time on a farm?
Well, whatever Ordo's concept of what a farm might smell like, you feel like you would be in the middle of where a horde of pigs would naturally live. And it's all of a sudden, and it's all around you.
That is absolutely beyond anything I have ever smelled before. It is making my eyes water. Somebody please stop it. What is that?
Ever. Do the rest of us smell it?
So,
I can taste it.
Avtok, has he
Yeah.
ever spent time on a farm?
I mean, I'm pretty much an animal. I would imagine that in my background, I did testing on animals and stuff.
So
Mine escalated.
you feel like you like the smell of a chicken coop is what's around you.
So it smells foul.
Yes.
Oh God.
Wait.
Smell most.
Hold on.
foul.
Hold on.
I was about to as well. So you can have your inspiration back, sir.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you
I
can
will
read my
need
mug.
it.
My mug says I intend.
I prefer my
I
puns
prefer my
intended.
puns intended.
Yeah, I entered a pun competition once, and I tried 10 different puns, but no pun intended.
I love it.
No.
No, I like that one.
I like how much Asa liked that one.
I feel like I was the only one, but I also wasn't looking at my camera, so I don't actually know if any of you responded to that. But
I groaned at it.
That
I
sounds
knew
like
where
a
he was
Robin
going about
response.
4 words into it. So
So, Phlox, do you like sweet things?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Phlox enjoys.
So, as Avtok and Ordo are like cringing and pulling back, I imagine like Avtok's trying to like tuck his trunk, into his robes. You smell
it doesn't smell any better in my room.
a sweet fare.
Uh,
As if someone has like fresh baked apples dipped in caramel.
Mm.
Oh, love it. So Phlox is wondering, oh, Ordo, what do you mean? You look like you're about to gag. So good in
Oh,
here.
This
I'm
is.
just in euphoria right now.
This
you know?
smells like a fart threw up. Oh, I've got like as much of my beard as possible is wrapping around my nose.
I'm trying to taste the air while Ordo's like,
Robin's the only one that didn't laugh. You could tell which of us are boys.
Chessaline, you smell rotten fruit.
Rotten
As if,
foot?
orange.
Rotten fruit, like actual rot smell.
Yes, like-
not fermented fruit, rotten fruit.
Correct. So
Okay.
if like your oranges and melons were left out to just go bad.
I am very familiar with this scent. I grew up in the Glade.
And Joshua, as you
Tell me it's wine.
see all of this going on, I imagine you've spent a bit of time, cajoling and carousing, with a vast different amounts of clientele. And a sight almost accompanies the smell for you, as you feel as if someone has just puffed, some nasty cigars right into the air around you.
Oh my!
And you can begin to get away from it.
I haven't smelt this smell since living at home with my parents. My father would smoke the nastiest cigars. Does kind of bring me back to my childhood.
So what do you guys do as you, I mean, other than Phlox, the rest of you are all like
I'm having a
kind of
blast.
cringing at what's going on.
I don't know what you all smell with animals and everything. This cigars are pretty nasty, but I think that comparing it to a barn is quite well. I've never actually stepped foot inside of a barn before, but maybe perhaps we could try something like running a little bit faster. A little bit faster. Yeah, that's the best. Forward and up and all of that.
Got any more of those haste spells?
I mean, yes, but I would lose mine.
Robin, did you say anything, or were you?
Oh, I said I was gonna breathe through my mouth.
Oh, okay. It's not any better.
Going to breathe it through my
Now
ears.
you can taste it.
I'm gonna just put my trunk up like a snorkel
oh,
and see if it gets out of the air.
Prestidigitation.
Oh,
right.
nice.
What kind of wizard has prestidigitation?
I know. I was just looking
Me,
to see if I
every time
could
I
do
play
that.
a spellcaster.
Oh wait,
always.
I have that.
No, I have minor illusion. I didn't take that one.
So what is Chessaline's least favorite thing to eat?
That's a good question. Okay, see, my first thought is tacos, but I don't know if they have tacos in D&D land. Like spiced meat, you know?
Okay.
It's too hot.
So your tongue and nose almost seems to burn with an intensity at the vast change from this malodorous fruit to this burning pungent smell of meat cooking. You're not certain which is worse. Like the one was nasty, but this is almost painful. Is anyone else trying to prestidigitate? All right, let's see.
Avtok tries it as well.
So has Avtok spent any time by the sea?
That I doubt. I will say no.
So you smell bad seafood. So I don't know how Avtok would understand such things.
Me either.
Sure, he's been to a fish market somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about fish specifically, but I could imagine similar things that he may have smelt in his career.
Phlox, as you see everyone kind of reacting to all of this, you look over and Avtok is now purple.
Oh, okay. Oh Lord.
Like a nice deep, like royal purple, not the gray that he was a moment ago.
Oh
I
man.
feel pretty.
Prestidigitation went the complete wrong way. Didn't it? Hey, you know what?
Chessaline, Joshua, Ordo, you notice as well. If you happen to look over at Avtok.
I might be purple, but Ordo looks green.
In fact, Ordo looks yellow.
Yeah, same difference. I'm colorblind as an elephant.
I need milk, and I doubt that milk will help. Ah.
Chessaline is pink.
Do I see this?
Do you look at your skin in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, I just had my hands in my face.
Then absolutely. And I'm not talking like fleshy color. I mean pink.
her goth sensibilities.
I happen to think that's quite
Yeah.
fitting for chess. Of course.
Joshua turns a
I'm
deep
going to punch
blue.
you in the face.
A deep blue. Oh, I instantly cast disguise self to turn myself to look like myself again.
All right.
Wow,
Go
that was
go
self a lot.
go ahead and make a intelligence roll.
That's a 23.
All right. So you force the magic, and as I described earlier, you had to kind of push through. Didn't seem to strain as much as the others because you rolled really high, but you made it work. You're like, magic, be my bitch.
I'm like sitting here teasing chess, and then I turn blue, and I'm like, oh, nope.
So the
Smurf shaming.
the Peacock Aarakocra, as you happen to look over at Phlox, all of his feathers are now black.
I thought he was human.
Aren't you an Aarakocra? Or was your master?
My master is Eric
Okay. All
I was
right.
like, if he had wings, I'd have put him up in the air.
My apologies. Sorry, your skin changes jet black.
So I'm literally making a note like, all right, no baked goods, skin allergies. As I'm writing this down, I just turn like straight,
Okay.
Yeah.
We still have to go. We still have to get this done. Does anybody have any idea what direction we're supposed to be going in
I
right now?
cannot see through my tears. This smells like hot soda and garbage.
This is how we
So-
die.
For the next
This is
half
it.
hour,
I just stumble forward. At this point, I'm wrapping anything I can around my nose, retching occasionally.
for the next half hour, you guys begin traveling, and about every minute, it changes from something pleasant to something unpleasant in regards to smells. And you go through the entire spectrum of colors, possibly other things that you hadn't quite considered before.
I smell like polka dots.
Smell like
As
Rice Krispies.
your skin, your scales, what have you, changes from one thing to another, as this place continues to play more mind games or reality warping. You're not quite sure until the vast swirling colors actually come into view, and the actual point at which you must traverse to becomes clear, and you can see a good 25-foot circle of swirling energies. You see lights flashing, crackling energies of lightning, fire. And as you begin to slowly move upon it, get 100 feet away, a golden barrier of energy comes into view. Not as if it was not there before, but your proximity to it now makes it clear. And it mutes the swirling vortex in front of you. And you hear, just ever so faintly on the rocky ground, a little bit of clop, 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 as some equine creature walks in between this barrier and the lot of you. And you see a small, four-legged, what looks to be a horse, no more than 5 feet tall at the top of its head. Well, maybe not the top of its head, but 5 feet at the top of its golden horn, as it steps between you and this portal.
Serious.
You don't so much as hear, but a voice enters into each of your heads almost tentatively, not forceful in any way, shape, or form, but I would ask you to stop. This is where your path must end. You cannot force your way through this barrier as you have done to others. It is my will or my life.
I really don't want to have to kill you. Let's talk about this.
It is my will or my death that will force this barrier down.
Okay. And I'm trying to take the path where it's your will. If you have the patience to have a conversation.
I can absolutely do that. But you are wielders of nasty magics, and
I take offense. No, yeah, I take offense.
Why?
My art is not nasty.
oh, it
No,
is.
that's the stink of father's cigars you're smelling, not magic.
This portal, this thing, and while this is all happening in your heads, the concept of a sneer comes across within the words. Conjuration magic, its sole purpose is to call others and force them away from their homes, whether they were eating dinner, spending time with their families, and force them to do their bidding.
That's actually not true. You can use it to summon objects as well.
But the core is to call others, to conjure.
Yeah, it can be conjuring things as well. Doing anything without somebody's consent is a problem, but that doesn't make the magic itself wrong. It's how you use it.
But it is to take. But I could go on. The magic of evocation is dangerous. Casters seeking only to destroy.
Actually, a lot of healing spells are evocations.
Illusions or illusionists are nothing but liars and deceivers. At best, they are a nuisance. Troublemaker.
Now that is a logical fallacy. It is a hasty generalization. You're not actually saying anything to back that up.
I
You're a
love that
terrible scholar.
Chess is well actuallying everything this tiny unicorn is saying.
Okay, then what about necromancy?
Well, there's a
So,
value in bringing. people
no,
back
you
from
were
the
not
dead.
gonna you were not gonna necromance explain this one. I got this.
Fine, you take it.
Calling forth spirits at rest to force them into nasty, evil, dead bodies to do evil things and force evil emotions upon them
Or
to take souls that are at peace and at rest and force them back into a world of trouble.
or to take the disquiet dead and send them back to where they came from.
How does it take the disquiet dead back?
Because you can take something that is already shambling. And also the spell that restores life is a necromancy spell. There are two sides to all of these things. You
What about-
can work with the dead. You can have respect for the dead. There is such a thing as securing consent.
I come from the place where spirits rest. I come from the place where they are at peace. And to call back one who has expired, or to call a being of any of the undeath, takes those spirits back from those places, back to this kind of place. And it, the horse looks around, side to side. Again, you feel the sneer of derision at how unhospitable this place is. What about transmutation? Here they change the shape and bend the world to their very will.
I happen to use transmutation to stay up all night so I can study. Thank you very much.
What about divination to try to understand the future so that you might change that which destiny has set forth?
I knew he was going to say that.
The only possible saving grace to your entire lot is the School of Abjuration, meant to protect, but yet so many of their spells seem to focus solely upon their self, showing how selfish your kind of magic truly is.
Well, that's true. Anyone who uses abjuration is a selfish jerk.
I'm going to look at Chesseline and in Undercommon say, I don't think we're going to be able to reason with this creature.
So
I see it. I understand. I had to try anyway.
So what was the spell again that Avtok used to literally zip me from one point to another? I forgot the name of the spell.
Vortex Warp.
Vortex Warp. I don't know what school of magic that is off the top of my head, but I want
Conjuration.
Conjuration. I would like to explain to this entity with a persuasion roll, if possible, that what Avtok did selfishly to help me out while in this messed up situation that was absolutely created by this lands.
I'm glad I'm purple or I'd be blushing.
So go ahead and say what you're going to say and give me your persuasion roll.
Yeah. So he says what he says to do it, explaining how selfishly how Avtok uses spells and spell slots and inspiration points to pull me through.
I don't think you can explain.
We need to explain meta dice.
It's metagame concepts, don't worry about it. But I rolled a 17 on persuasion, if that helps.
There's a total of 17 or 17 on the die?
17 total.
Your thoughts have merit, but you're talking about traversing through this barren wasteland. How much of the details did you give? Was this just a for instance, or was this did you use the word today, or any of that?
I'm explaining to the entity how that not only has this one instance had where Avtok uses magic to help me out, but how us as a party are using our spells and resources to essentially try to put things right as they should be.
So you go ahead and make an insight check, or if somebody wants to make an insight check.
If anyone has a bigger insight than Neg one, feel free.
I have 2 higher than that.
Yeah, I've got 3 higher than that. I will insight for days.
I've got a +5
I have
on
plus
insight.
3.
Anyone who wants
That was-
insight,
Are they
free.
the insightful
Frickin'
one?
roll.
I will roll some insight in 13.
Got an 11.
I'm scared to even roll.
Did you roll?
10.
So Ordo, you think that there might be you might be making headway, but this creature is certainly not convinced off of a singular example. That might have come across a little bit vague on the details, other than just like, well, he used one spell to help me that one time.
Oh, what sort of magic do you ascribe to, Tiny Unicorn Horse?
Well, I'm not so much in a way of wielding magic so much as I heal and protect the things around me. I don't spend time studying a spell book as wizards do.
Where does your power come from? The
The-
gods,
The
perhaps?
divine.
So there are those who wield divine power that use that power to imprison the minds of others, force them to speak truths, make them do and kneel to things that they themselves wouldn't choose. I think you have a flawed argument to blame the magic for the actions of the casters. It's not about what magic can do, it is simply a tool. It's about who is using it. Just because
Sure.
one practices magic does not make them innately corrupt.
The divine have the ability to look down below, and should a person be using the power in a way that they're not happy with, it can be removed. It is a gift given to you mortals. But those like yourselves, you have taken magic. Nothing was given to you.
Oh, so you don't like that you don't have direct control over what we're doing.
Petty tyrant in Undercommon.
But go ahead and make a persuasion check if you like, Issa.
Absolutely. I'm going to use this dice. It's been rolling better. It's 10, so that's 16.
Okay. But go ahead, Chesaline, you were saying something.
Oh no, that was it. That was just
Okay.
you don't like that you don't have full control over what we're doing.
We did not take magic. As you have just said, we studied, sometimes for years and years, to learn the things that we have learned, to unravel the mysteries of the world around us, to understand the weave and the magic and how it relates to the world. Our magic is earned, not taken, and it is not given freely by the divine entities who deign to give us this ability. I've studied long and hard for many years to become skilled at my craft, as have my companions. We will not stand here and be insulted by a tiny horse.
Oh, well, would you prefer that I was not a tiny horse?
Oh no.
Are you going to become a much larger horse?
Of course.
The best argument you have is might makes right, then I guess we're gonna have to come to that, aren't we?
So the horse kind of shakes its mane a little bit, and you watch as it goes from this 5 foot tall, again at the tip, to this monstrous 8 foot tall at the shoulder unicorn.
Unicorns are a-holes.
The
I should have used the
fur
damn
still
handle check.
glistening white, the horn still golden, but it's back, and it's should have done my research, but the front part of the horse is bedecked in gold armor, scribed with angelic runes in silver and platinum. We don't have to do a might contest.
Dibs on the horn.
If you actually say that out loud,
In Undercommon.
but if that is the direction you wish to go, I am completely willing to oblige you.
Could I do? I
The
mean,
logic you're using is that the gods are powerful, so the gods should control all the magic, and that's what you're trying to do right now. And I'm saying no.
okay, so this might be Flox's naivete showing, but could I do kind of like an animal handling check? Like, hey, we don't have to come to this, buddy.
Animal handling, no. You could
Okay.
do persuasion, intimidation, deception.
Monstrosity handling?
It would be celestial, dude.
No.
Okay,
Monstrosity.
So, I guess I'll go for intimidation then, since it looks like it's going to the ways of that. So I guess I'll do what I can to kind of that
Can I
was
use the
almost a-
help action and just look
Sure.
menacing?
Sure.
Okay, stares there menacingly. Okay, so I had a dirty 20 and I'm taking the dirty 20.
All right. So
So what I'm gonna do is move my cloak into the air, use some prestidigitation to make some air fluttering, and say, "I do not think you want to come between a fight between me and my companions."
I don't wish to fight. Just because I am good at something doesn't mean that I enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And right now, I think you need
The
to convince me
attitude of
not
this
to kick your
unicorn
ass.
is really like it's right on the nose, like.
I've never punched a unicorn before.
There's a first time for everything.
Let's go, little Sebastian. Let's go.
Now, I have all the time in the world. If you wish to keep having a conversation, that is just fine with me.
We don't have all the time in the world. Joshua only has about 40 minutes or so.
I mean, it's true. When you have places to be and people to stuff. Look, you're a better little unicorn, honestly. But I think Chess has the right of it. You want to control what we do with our magic, and that's just kind of bullshit because we worked for it. Regardless of how even the servants of the gods worked for it, they've devoted themselves, and if you were to take that power from them on a whim, that's a tyranny. You are perpetuating a system of tyranny based on the whims of a being that isn't communicating directly with its people.
New module, Tyranny of the Unicorn.
We just punch it. Like let's go.
I like the word choice that you use there, Joshua. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
All right. Ooh, that's 20. Dirty 20, but still a 20.
Sure. Tyrants. You feel that this is a tyrannical situation. I had not looked at it in such a way. I'm not 100% convinced, but I am not convinced.
So are you taking the barrier down?
If I take this barrier down, the magics that this portal controls or allows will return properly to your ilk.
We're not sick.
What is your stake in all of this? Personally, individually.
individually, we are doing this because something has been set terribly wrong with the world, and we honestly all believe in everybody's freedom to choose their own path.
Does
I've
that-
seen. Oh, God.
Does that sit accurately with a lot of you?
I've seen what happens when a being that views itself to be a greater power comes down upon mortals and demands its will, enforces its will. And everything that I have done since I have begun practicing magic has been to combat that. And though what I've seen is not at the hands of the gods, it still is a factor of beings in power subjugating those of lesser power is not acceptable. It's not okay.
Do
And
you?
if you're attempting to control the flow of magic, control people's ability to rise up above the shackles put on them, you're removing the agency of an individual, or those who are putting these barriers in place are removing the agencies of individuals. That is never acceptable. Not by my standards. That's why I'm doing this. I have loved ones to free.
Do you wish to rule? Is that a thing that you desire?
Wish to what?
Do you wish to rule?
No. I wish for all to have their own independence.
What type of ruler would you be if you were somehow found with that power?
Probably a drunk one.
You answer honestly, and I appreciate that. But you yourself are now saying that though you don't desire it, you would be bad at it should it fall to you. You wouldn't just step down?
I would absolutely be terrible at it. I would have no desire to stand in that role. If there was someone more suited to ruling than myself, I would hand them the reins for sure, as long as their rule wouldn't impede my freedoms.
And what about anyone else? What do you have to say? Looks to Ordo, Avtok, and Phlox, who have kind of been quiet the last few minutes.
You spoke yourself earlier about how you noticed, or rather you disliked, that certain magics could summon others against their will, that things could be done without a person having a choice in it, and yet by putting this barrier up, you yourself obstruct the will of those who would use this magic. You, as Joshua has said, have taken away individuals' free will, their agency, if you will.
Well, to look at it from our side, it is not so much as taking the agency, but protecting those that might come from the other side. Now, not all magics that call forth are going to come from my home plane. I don't like the fact of those from below being called forth for any reason to come to where you mortals play.
Why is that your choice? Why should you, a singular individual, be the arbiter of that decision?
Well, it's not entirely my choice. There are others. I am certain you have already encountered, shall we say, a sister who now rests from her wounds that you have laid upon her,
She didn't really give us a choice, did she?
and that is why I am here to have a conversation. And you are definitely far more intelligent and not so full of bloodlust as some might think. When you wish to seek a balance restored to the world, I am not on your side, but it is possible that those who have persuaded me are not in the right either. I will not do anything against them. I cannot reveal any further information. But, the horse nods their head, and you watch this golden barrier get fainter and fainter. It takes a couple of minutes. And then it becomes so transparent that you like you can barely see it, and then it just pops. I am certain that there will be repercussions for me doing so.
You think they'd hurt you over this?
I don't know.
Do you need us to rough you up a little bit so it looks like we forced you?
That is not necessary.
You do see me smirking a little, like it was a joke.
You have a sense that this creature, the fact that it's talking telepathically, kind of touching each of your minds, it understands your emotions pretty easily. What was that?
Nothing.
There are places that I can go. I hope you understand that I cannot aid any further.
No one's asking you to.
The unicorn kind of like stomps at the ground at their feet, and you watch as like a single like braided lock from their mane falls, down at their feet. You can use this to attempt to talk to me. I would hope that at least one of you would be familiar with magics of long distance communication.
I'm just looking at Ordo because he's the hair guy.
I was gonna step forward and pick it up. I think since Josh was done most of the actually, I think the groundwork for breaking through to this guy.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'll step forward. I'll pick it up and I'll say to him, "If you have shown us kindness, and if you need help because you've gotten into trouble with your superiors for aiding us, I can't speak for the rest of my companions, but I am willing to come to your aid."
That is kind. I do believe it won't come to that, because I'm not going to let them find me. I will still be dealing with you for some time.
Well, for what it's worth, you've got my sword too. You get to make choices as well.
So I have something to say to this entity before
Sure.
it scampers away. I have known magic only through art and the beauty that it can create. The way one expresses themselves through their magic expresses who they really are inside. what you done for us is not a small deed. I'm curious to see what your final shape would be.
No, this is how I truly am. And magic can be beautiful when used correctly. I am not certain what your final form will be, but I wish to see what kind of people all of you are, which is why, and I understand the irony of talking of deception and deceiving from the moment one, but it is the better way to understand, which is why I will go and I will find a place to sit out of the way for a while. You have a way to contact me should you so desire, whether it be to check up on me or to ask a question. If my mood changes and I've found further information that you are truly in the right, then maybe I'll be able to deliver more. But at present, I must stay out of the way. But your barrier to your magic is gone.
I have one final request. Should I have the ability to call on you through conjuration magic, would you be willing to come?
That would depend entirely upon the situation.
I'm simply asking for consent, because should the ability arise, I would not like to take you away from whatever it is you are doing.
That is one of the issues with this particular place. While yes, some casters take time and build up the communication and call forth a specific individual that has tied roots in between them, others just call out randomly. I don't know what my next 10 minutes is going to be like, let alone some vague distance in the future. But should you get access to such a power, you can use my braid and start the conversation then.
Then I shall. Thank you. And I'm going to bow to the unicorn, show it some sign of respect that I, through my knowledge, would be fitting of someone who has divine power.
Sure, go ahead and make a persuasion roll with advantage.
Okay. That would be a 19.
If you would have rolled poorly, there would not have been any detrimental effects. It's just whether or not, you ingratiated yourself more to them.
Yeah. Showing proper reference and all that.
But doesn't bow quite as deeply, but it does nod its head and, doesn't close its eyes. It does still keep the lot of you. If anybody wants to make an insight check, feel free. But it nods its head. Horn dips down, and it turns around and begins walking. And you watch over the next 20 feet, the creature begins to fade. 20 more feet, it fades even more. And by the time the thing is cantered to about 60 feet away, it's gone.
A unicorn horn dagger would have been really cool.
I hate to spoil your fun, but it's a celestial. This is not its native plane. Its body would not have been able to been looted.
I really need to work on my anger issues. Like, even as that was winding down, I still wanted to punch it in the face.
I felt the same inside.
Well, I was prepared to go in either direction. Depending entirely whether you wanted combat or not.
Like 10 words in, I rolled initiative because I thought for sure you were going to ask for it.
Oh no, that was in character. Chess really wanted to punch the unicorn. I'm glad that was resolved rather peacefully.
I hadn't given it a lot of thought as role playing it, but given that Joshua is trained in religion, and I don't think I'm actually trained in Arcana, it was kind of fitting that was a solution he kind of worked his way toward.
Sure, it was definitely pretty cool, and the entire concept of good guys fighting good guys is clearly a thread that's woven its way through this campaign. And I was like, how crazy are they going to be if I put a unicorn in front of them and see what they do? All right.
I thought we had to waste
but we're not done yet, because while the barrier is gone, the portal is there.
Through.
So I ask the question, does anybody wish to tap into the portal? All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joshua, you have not taken any kind of power from any of the other devices yet, right?
I have not, no. And this is conjuration, right? That's
Yep,
the word.
yep.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
have not taken power from other devices yet.
So you step forward and you make a connection with this portal. You are a tiefling, and you know that for the most part, conjuration magic, when you call forth creatures from other planes, the primary planes, the upper planes, the lower planes, and the elemental planes are the strongest of them. Just for shiggles, shits and giggles, if you will, do you feel a connection to any one of those particular planes?
Oh, that's a good question. I know that as a tiefling, there is some innate connection to the lower planes and the hells, especially considering Joshua's whole. I did tell you that Ted. I sent you the information about his how he became a tiefling, right?
Yes.
Okay. Especially with his whole connection to that. But likewise, he's got a pretty in-depth connection with fire, despite the fact that he's an onomancer. So the elemental plane of fire would reach out to him.
Okay. All right. So do we spin the wheel, or do you want to make a choice?
I think part of me likes the idea of bending demons to his, or devils, or lower planes creatures to his will. I think that fits with what Joshua's overall goals are.
Okay. All right. So just make a notation of just a stronger connection to the lower planes, and we'll explore that factor at some point in time. But as of now, you can add the subclass powers for the School of Conjuration to your abilities.
Cool. I'll pull up D&D Beyond on my phone because my computer died.
Make contact with the portal. Phlox. Well, since this is your first connection or first vessel, you might not be familiar with the process. But the arcane vessels are more than just a simple artifact. They are the center of the 8 schools of magic. And by making a connection to them, the first one, it's like, the first hit is free. You essentially add more subclass powers to your character. So should you take power from the summoning sigil, you would gain the class abilities or the subclass abilities from the School of Conjuration. They wouldn't supplant what you have from the Order of the Peacock, but you'd have both. Now, we don't know exactly what the ramifications are, but the party has been warned that should you have one and you try to take another, problems can happen possibly some nasty side effects. But you don't have to worry about that. So do you take?
If it adds another color palette that I can use, then yes.
All right. So you go ahead and you call forth some energies, and just like Joshua, you may add those abilities to yourself as well.
I can't remember. Is this something that has to be purposefully done, or does just touching it confer?
It's a willful choice.
Okay.
You know, you can go up and you can touch it, but it is almost like a ritual. You know, you make contact, and you know you establish a connection. You sense what the school is, and you essentially rip power out of it. These things, you know, you who have already touched the Seeing Shrine, you know that it is an infinite well. Like you can pour water out of it, you know, all day, but it will always be full. Just like these things, they are full of power. You can take some, add it to yourself, and it's as if you didn't take anything out of it because it's still full.
Okay. Because I want it, but I don't think Avtok would. So
okay, all right. Chess, Ordo. Nope.
Ordo has no interest in conjuring. Takes great pride in his ability to shape people's hair and beards into things using his skill.
Okay. Chess looks like they're thinking.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm not tempted fate today.
Sure. All right. Hey. So you had that look of consideration on your face.
No, I was doing nose goes, not
okay.
it.
I didn't see this. I saw that's very different. All right. So a couple of you have taken from the summoning sigil, and you watch as this thing continues to swirl. And every so often it just kind of shifts a little to the left, shifts a little to the right. As you stand here and watch as your companions interact with it, every so often as you look at it, is that a face? Is that a hand? It's not so much a shadow, but the swirling energies. You're not certain. Every so often, a form, a figure, a face, a hand appears, and you're not certain whether something is on the verge of coming out or not. So nothing does at the moment. You completed your task. Yet another of these vessels have been restored to its rightful way, its proper path. Do you linger, or do you head back to the tower?
We got to get back to home base so we can level up.
I am so ready to leave this place in my dust. I was tired of being here hours ago. I would like to not be pink anymore.
Well,
Once
you guys
Chess turned pink, they were like, "Nah, we're out."
You guys when you traveled for a half hour of constantly changing color and experiencing different smells, so you're not even sure what color you are, but you get a decent distance away, not sure how a teleportation stone mixed with a vessel of such power of calling things might want to interact.
What's the worst that could happen?
But you snap that stone, and the darkness yet again wraps around you. You see the different portholes into other places, and the sigil that you have seen now several times appears, and you find yourselves yet again safe and home for the time being within the Tower of Galtaloth. And while it's a little bit early, I think we're gonna end it here so that we can kind of get into a planning stage for next time and figure out where you're looking to head next.
Sounds great.
So I know that one of our players is looking to kind of get off and do some other things early. So I thought this would be a perfect time. As always, folks in the chat, you can find the links to the players where you can find them online where applicable, as well as a link to not only Easy Roller Dice, but that amazing Kickstarter. Get those cool Crackstone dice. They are amazing. They sent me, the cool set of one of the aforementioned stretch goals before it's even available. And, the marble stone is pretty cool. So let's help them over the next week to see if they might be able to get that unlocked so you can add that to your own awesome dice collection.
If they don't unlock it, you have to send it back.
Oh.
Uh,
I don't, they had them available, and that's what they decided to send me to be able to show off to you guys. And it is pretty cool. It's a nice chunky
It's,
D20 of
Nice.
marbled stone. So go check out the Crackstone dice, and tell Nerdarchy sent you because they're awesome. Like I said, hope you guys had fun. I hope you out there in viewerland enjoyed this wonky chaos of a session, and the conversation with a unicorn that could have gone a lot bloodier.
oh, for sure. Yeah, I've watched Cabin in the Woods. I know what happens when unicorns attack.
So have a good one, and until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.